There we go, Ben. The rescue ship now looks as good as new.
Well done, Commander. It appears as though you have fully repaired the rescue ship.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Now that that's done, I think it's time I made a start in building a temporary base in that asteroid just behind me. I should have enough resources now to at least make an entrance to it. Now the big question is, where would be the best place to build this thing? Ideally, I need somewhere that's relatively flat. Well, this place looks as good as any. I'll just take my drill out and put it onto the second setting, which is excavate. This setting pulverizes the ore and stone so it can't be collected, but it does dig out a larger area. Well, that's the first notch dug out, but I want to keep on doing this to create a rough outline of the entrance I want to make. Once I finish the asteroid base, the next item in my agenda is to make some kind of small mining vessel. I'll make it smaller than the rescue ship, but still big enough to mine out a fair bit of ore and stone, because seriously, mining by hand, it's just going to take way too long, and I can do it much more efficiently with a ship.
Caution, Commander. My short-range sensors have just detected a single, high-speed meteoroid passing within 3.1 kilometers of our current location.
Copy that, Ben. I have to admit, that's not exactly filling me with much confidence. Am I in any kind of danger I really need to know about right now?
Unknown, Commander. That was the first meteoroid that I have detected since we arrived, but my sensors are limited, and I am unable to tell if there are any more incoming. I will, however, configure your onboard computer to warn you if there's any danger of being hit by any further meteoroids, or if there are multiple inbound.
Acknowledged, Ben. The sooner I get this thing built, the better. At least if I have a base inside the asteroid, I'll have some form of protection against both radiation and meteoroids. Okay, that actually looks big enough to make a start now. I'll just select one of the frames here to make a light armor block and align it with the entrance as best as I can. Then, hopefully, see if I can make it as relatively straight as I can. And there we go. Now if I've done this right and not screwed up too badly, then any further blocks I place to the left and above this one should fit into the entranceway perfectly. Yes, there we go. Excellent. I'll just keep building these along here as much as I can, and let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to want to make it just a little bit wider. Which means it's time to take the drill out again and make some more space. Okay, that'll do for the left side. Just check the right. Now I reckon this can be done with being made a few blocks longer, so I'm just going to grind this one down and see if I can make more space. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because ideally I would like to be able to fit the rescue ship inside, if possible. I've got some more steel plates, so hopefully this should be enough to complete the rest of the frames for the outside of the entrance. After that, it will just be a case of welding it all up. And that should be all the frames for the entrance pretty much complete. I'll just fly back a little bit and make sure that it looks okay. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. I'm trying to make it large enough so that I can fit the rescue ship inside, because that way I've got somewhere to dock it. I don't like leaving it outside, especially after Ben mentioned the fact that he spotted some meteoroids passing by. If one of those hits the rescue ship, we could pretty much lose everything that's inside it. These doors, they're fine if you're on a planet or something, but out here in space they're just too narrow and they're just not practical. I'll have to replace them at some point. I'll just get the assembler to create another batch of steel plates, and once they're done I'll put them in my inventory and I will weld those frames outside along the entrance for the asteroid base. That will turn them into complete light armor blocks, which means that they will not only look better but they'll be a lot sturdier as well. And whilst I'm here, I'll also use this oxygen bottle to refill my suit's oxygen tank. I don't want that to run out whilst I'm out there. Right, let's get these welded up. There we go, it's really starting to take shape now. Ben, just out of curiosity, do we have any better tools for mining, grinding and welding things together? I don't want to build a mining ship quite yet, but this really is painfully slow.
Negative, Commander. There are, however, various upgrades for your current tools available from the assembler.
Really? Okay, thanks Ben, I'll head back to the rescue ship and take a look. What I'll do is I'll put my original tools inside this cargo container here. That way if anything happens or anything goes wrong with the new ones, I'll still have the original ones I can use as a backup. Okay, let's have a look and see what I can actually make. Yeah, there's different tiers of tools I can make, but they require resources, and the ones that are in red are obviously the ones I don't have certain resources for. I'll make a tier 2 drill at the moment, and yeah, I might as well make a grinder and a welder as well for these, because I have the resources for them. They're proficient, it says, rather than the best type available, but I don't have access to platinum yet, so if I make these in the meantime it should help speed things up a little bit. Yeah, they certainly will take a while to build, but I can kill time. In fact, I can go and use the flight chair and recharge my spacesuit's energy whilst I'm waiting. Ah yeah, look at that. With having both the assembler and refinery running at the same time, it's exerting more of a drain on the reactor. It now says I've only got 8 hours of fuel left. That'll go back up again once they both stop. That's my new hand drill complete. Now I just have to wait for the assembler to finish the welder. There we go. I'll just put this in my inventory as well. And I'll come back for the grinder later once it's ready. I just want to test these out first. My suit's onboard computer is still recognizing the original tools, so I will remove those from the toolbar on the HUD and replace them with the tier 2 versions, and I should be good to go. Wait a minute. It's pink. Ben, can you explain to me why my new tools are pink?
I'm sorry, Commander. That was the new default color for those tools set in the preferences for the assembler.
Ben, those settings weren't supposed to have been touched. Who was the last person to access them?
According to these records, the last person to access the assembler's settings was Dr. Nina Sarkar.
Oh man, Dr. Sarkar. Even from beyond the grave, you still somehow find a way of pulling a prank on me. Well, the upgraded drill is certainly a lot faster. I'm not entirely sure if it's extracting more ore though, but again that's something I'll have to test out a lot later on. I'll just use it one more time and then that should be me. Anyway, let's go and test out how effective this dodgy pink welder actually is. Yeah, I know, I should have been paying more attention the first time around I was using it, but I think I was still suffering from the shock of seeing something that looks as if it belongs in a Barbie playset. Actually, it is slightly faster. Not tremendously so, but enough to make a little bit of a difference if you're going to be doing this for any prolonged period of time. Right, okay, let's test out the excavation setting on the hand drill. Wow, that is actually a lot faster now. This is going to make carving out the asteroid base a lot easier. Right, it's time for me to settle an old score. This door has annoyed me for the last time. I am going to use the grinder to slice it down to size and replace it with something far more useful. Done. All I have to do now is see if I can find something more suitable to replace it with. There we go, that sliding door that opens in the middle, like the one we saw on the event horizon. That'll do nicely. I need 2 more motors and a few more components to complete the store. Some of it I'll find in the cargo container, the others I'll just fabricate using the assembler. That's actually the door functional now, but it's not sturdy, so even though I can open and close it, if it takes damage, that'll be it back to non-functioning again. So ideally I would like to finish this off as quickly as I can, and I'll need bulletproof glass and steel plates. And like an absolute muppet, I've completely forgotten how much of each component I need to complete the door. I'd better go back and check. Right, okay, I say about 10 steel plates and 15 bulletproof glass. That should probably do it. Ah, I already had some steel plates left over. I'll just take those. Time for me to go and test this out, see if I can enter and leave the ship easier through the store than I could with the previous one. Oh yeah, look at this, I can even fly in sideways. This is going to save me from so many headaches in the future. I like it already. It's still grey at the moment, but I'll probably paint it to match the rest of the ship later on. Anyway, that's enough distractions, back to building the base. And that should be the last of the frames for the sides of the entrance done now. Yep. I'll just go and fly outside and take a quick look. Yeah, that's really starting to take shape now. Right, the next thing I want to do is mark a GPS location for the entrance to this base on my onboard personal computer. I'll create a new waypoint at my location and change the name to Asteroid Base 1. Yeah, that sounds original. And for the description, yeah, it's an asteroid base. I'll give it a better name later on, but right now, let's just keep it simple. That's it. This waypoint can be toggled on and off, but when left on, it'll remain on my HUD, enabling me to find my way back to this location from wherever I am. This is useful because, say for example, I'm out here by myself, mining away on the side of this asteroid, and I decide, okay, that's it, I have enough iron ore. It is time for me to return to my asteroid base. But where is the entrance? I can't remember where I left it. Now, in the past I would have had to fly around the asteroid hoping to find the entrance to my base, but not anymore. I just look for the waypoint on my HUD, fly towards it, and sooner or later I will be home. That's the main support beams welded up now. Yep, it's looking good so far. I reckon it's about time I flew this rescue ship inside its new hangar. Now, if I did my math correctly, there should be more than enough space for me to fly the rescue ship in and out of this hangar without scraping the damn thing off the side. At least that's the theory. Gently does it, Commander. Slow and steady wins the race. I'll just quickly go and check to make sure it's not sitting at an angle. And it's sitting at an angle. Well, that's okay, I'll just nose down slightly, move it forward a couple of meters, and that should be it. Okay, let's go outside and see if I've managed to park the ship correctly this time. Of course, I can't leave without closing these newly painted doors behind me. That fits perfectly, and I've got room to spare. Brilliant! And that's the main hangar now, more or less working. It's not pretty, but it's functional. Hey, at least it's not a 9x9. The next plan I have for this facility is to build an airlock in that doorway over there, which will connect this hangar to a production facility and living quarters. Everything will be linked via conveyor network, which will come back to a connector in this hangar. After that, the next step is to build a dedicated mining vessel, which will give us a far more efficient and more fun way of getting the resources we need for completing the rest of this base.